So let's see, who are our promotions? Well, we got Wasteland Wanderer picking up a promotion, and we have Tribal Typhoon as well. And I think that was it. Yeah, it was just 2 promotions. So, let's see. Since I saw Wasteland Wanderer most recently in chat, you are gonna be up first, buddy. And I think Tribal is off on his con doing his thing, so chat, you may have to pick for him. Or I guess in this case, we'll let Yas now pick for him. But Wasteland Wanderer here, let's have a look. Literally went on his first app, and he's already a max rank, which seems a little weird, but it's fine, chat. It's fine. So let's see. Under Master Sergeant, we have the Wrecker class, which is where we're picking up, you know, Shredder and all that stuff. Don't forget we have Super Shred Shot for 20 points. But we have Remote Start. Detonate an environmental explosive, causing it to deal double damage within twice its normal radius. Does not reveal the Reaper. I mean, technically you're not a Reaper, but you get the idea. So, like, this would give you the ability to... Any explosive thing on the map, you can just make it explode without shooting. And in this case, when you use this ability, it does double damage and has double the radius. So that could be good. I mean, it's not a bad ability by any stretch of the imagination. Then we have Reaper, the ability, a devastating chain melee attack where the first melee attack cannot miss. Each melee kill in Reaper mode grants an extra action, but further melee attacks have reduced damage. This is really good if you focus entirely on melee, but we haven't had a lot of opportunities to do good melee damage. That's not to say that we can't try, but it's definitely a thing. And then we have Arc Lance, which requires the Arc Thrower, so I'm not even going to look at it because Wasteland Wanderer is carrying a sword, therefore there's no point in worrying about the stun gun, because the stun gun cannot be carried with the sword. So Wasteland Wanderer, it is entirely up to you. We can go with Remote Start, or we can go with Reaper. I'll be honest, chat. Kind of disappointing on this one. Like, these top level abilities are kind of meh. Like, they're not bad, but it's just like, it's not wowing me the same way that the last couple of people that hit max rank did. You know what I mean? Wasteland Wanderer says 1. Alright. Well, in honor of having made it to max rank, and because you won't have an opportunity to get any more AP, I will grant you the ability to pick one more thing, or more, depending on, you know, if you want to go lower in the tree, you can pick some lower level abilities. But if you want to buy, say, Reaper, one of these top level abilities, I will allow you to dip into the XCOM pool. If I have the points, Super Shred Shot. Well, you do have the points for that. Expend all ammo in a single massive burst. Shreds additional armor for each extra point of ammo spent. So, I mean, if we give you something with a big magazine, you know, like 6 shots or something, you could potentially shred, what, the 3 armor by default plus 6 more? So potentially you could shred 9 armor in a single shot. So yeah, that's a pretty good shot. That's a pretty good shot. 360 no-scope. Potentially, yeah. So there we go. No, Virgin. It's, for me, dipping into the XCOM pool is an executive decision. If somebody's close, or if I feel like they've earned it, I'm willing to give them the opportunity to dip into that pool. We only have 124 points, which seems like a lot, but when you consider that the high-level abilities are 20 or 30 points apiece, like, we would burn through that on 2 or 3 abilities for our top-level people. So, for me, it's an executive decision. Alright, and then that brings us to Tribal Typhoon, who again is currently indisposed. So I think it's going to be Yas now, who is going to be making the decisions on these abilities. Unless, of course, Yas now wants to kick it to chat and let them make the decisions. But it's up to you guys. It's up to you guys. We have VXN Mustang 1 first time chatter saying rip TikTok. Well, I mean, I have my thoughts about TikTok, but considering the fact that much like SpongeBob SquarePants, you could put a child in front of TikTok and watch their attention span drop in real time, I feel like maybe TikTok going away isn't the worst thing in the world. I would argue that maybe if social media in general went away, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but I'm also old-fashioned like that, so... Just my humble opinion. I never use TikTok, so I won't be missing it, and my day/life certainly won't be all that much different with it not being around anymore. And from my understanding, there are already folks flocking to some other short-form content site that's actually run by China instead of Singapore. So, you know, dumbass is gonna dumbass. I can't really... Yeah. I can't think for the world. I can only think for myself. Anyway, let's have a look at these abilities, chat. Because that is dangerously close to scub territory, and for those of you that have not taken the time to read the rules, we don't do politics here. And while I wouldn't argue that TikTok is political, I would argue that conversations of its nature definitely border on it. Yeah, for those of you that are not aware, for those of you that might be outside of the United States and apparently also living under a rock since the entire world is talking about it, is the United States has... So, okay. They haven't voted to ban TikTok, alright? So that's the common misconception. There are people in the government right now that are pushing to ban TikTok. Now, what has happened is that the United States Supreme Court has ruled that it is not constitutionally protected. That is, it is not against the Constitution to ban TikTok. It is not unconstitutional to do so. In other words, it does not violate the founding principles of the country. So it is not technically illegal to ban TikTok. So what that means now is that the politicians that want to ban TikTok can now start to move forward with that process. Now, with that being said, there are some politicians that already had legislation in the pipeline to ban TikTok with the anticipation that they were going to get this okay from the Supreme Court. And again, I'm not going to go down the political rabbit hole of how all this has come to pass, because we don't do politics here. I'm just explaining in the very vaguest terms for the folks that may not be familiar with what exactly is going on. Essentially, it has been ruled that it is now possible in the United States to ban TikTok, and there are now politicians pushing to make that a reality. So technically, TikTok is not banned yet, but it's very, very likely that that's going to come down in the next few days. So that's, again, the short version of what's going on. Anyway, as I said, let's get back to the actual game and the abilities, chat, because our man's Tribal Typhoon has just reached maximum level. So we've got our max level abilities. Under Gunner, we have Rapid Fire, which allows you to fire twice in a row at an enemy. Each shot suffers an aim penalty of -15. Now, chat, here's the thing. I'm gonna say it's probably not a great idea to take this for Tribal, because his aim is really low. 68 aim on a max level soldier is... bad. I'm just gonna say bad. I was trying to think of a more poetic way to say it, but 68 aim on a max level character is absolutely shit. So I don't think that taking a skill that decreases aim on somebody whose aim is already so low is a good idea. Again, just a suggestion. Next, we have Face Off under the Gunslinger category. Unfortunately, you have to take the pistol in order to get the benefit from this, but it allows you to fire once at every visible enemy with your empty in this case being the pistol that we would have to equip him with. And then last but not least, in the combat engineer tree, we have cloistered shielding. Project shields around the soldier and nearby allies. The shields will collapse if this soldier is killed. This is a free action that requires the soldier to have 2 AP, so it has to be your first action, has 2 charges, and a 5-turn cooldown. I'm curious, because that sounds really good. Let's see. Ability point cost is 2. It's a free action. It does not end your turn. 5-turn cooldown, 2 charges. Cannot be used while disoriented, cannot be used while burning. Does a radius of 10 tiles, and this is what I was curious about. Grants 6 HP, if not using the energy shield overhaul. That was going to be my question, is how much HP it actually gives you. So, again, I'm going to leave this in Yasnau's hands unless they want to kick it to chat. If they want to let chat make the decision, we can do it that way. Otherwise, the decision is Yasnau. Without Gremlin? You mean the Gremlin? I don't think Tribal Typhoon can actually take a Gremlin. Yeah, it's not a Gremlin ability. It's just a thing that they do. It's part of the combat engineer tree, which is a different thing. Because right now I have Tribal Typhoon using the Travel Light ability, which gives them an extra mobility point. Speaking of, what else do we got going on here? We got the Demolition Cannon, Wrist-Mounted Shredder Gun, Mine Layer, Improvised Explosive, grants 1 additional charge to heavy weapons. We're not actually using any heavy weapons. Would say 3. With that aim, the pistol's not a good idea. Yeah, unfortunately, Tribal is kind of hampered by his aim. That's why I tend to give him, like, the tracer rounds every time. Yasnau says 3. I mean, it's not a bad ability. It's a good defensive ability. Again, it gives not only him, but everyone in a 10-tile radius around him 6 extra hit points. So, like, if we were to use this at the beginning of a turn, or like at the beginning of a mission, bam, we just instantly get a bunch of additional HP. So this could be very useful. It's not a terrible ability. And there we go. That is Tribal Typhoon, now maxed out. Maxed out their bond, maxed out their skill tree. Tribal Typhoon is as good as he's ever going to get now. Alright, so that's the promotions out of the way, chat. Now, I think it's time to head back. Whoops. I think it's time to head back to the Geoscape so that we can continue working on what we've been working on. Let's see. Commander, after a recent success, members of the Resistance in New Arctic have brought us reports of activity that we may want to investigate. Is a blade of HP protected by armor? Negative. A blade of HP is what goes first. It's kind of like the shield. It's basically exactly the same as the way the shield bearer works. It burns through the ablative HP first, and then it hits the armor, and then if there's any damage left, that goes into your HP pool. So it is very temporary health, but like, for example, if you knew somebody was going to take a big hit, you could throw that ability out, give them a blade of hit points. It's like using shield in a card battler, right? You're just throwing on some temporary defense because you know you're going to take a hit. Or you suspect you're going to take a hit. We could go and get some crystals and some alloys. Honestly, though, I would rather continue the Resistance contacts because we're very, very close to finishing that. And then we can start to make contact with one of the last 2 regions. We still need to get 7 intel to do it, but we can go to Reaper HQ and pick up a little bit of extra intel. So let's hit this heat signature. Let's hit this heat signature and see if we can finish it up.
Our action together is complete, Commander.
All right, there we go. There's our additional Resistance contact. And hey, guess what? it rolled over. We hit a new month, a new period since we last did a covert op. So we should have a new list, chat. Let's see what we're gonna get.
We have learned new things.
All right.
New tactics to be used against the Elder's servants.
So we can do refined Illyrium. This is a rocket crafting component. What does that mean? Like, to make the special rockets? Recently gotten a tip from the Resistance that a secret admin research facility has received a sample of refined Illyrium, a volatile source of immense energy. We could potentially use it to create an incredibly destructive rocket. A small team could attempt to infiltrate the facility and steal the sample, but this dangerous mission will require an engineer to access the sample and a scientist to properly handle it. Chat, this feels like an endgame thing. Like, is it just me, or does this kind of feel like a super weapon kind of thing? Am I the only one? I mean, technically, I guess it doesn't matter because it says we don't have a major level Reaper, and we would have to do that. It's literally a nuke, really. See, now I really want to do it. The only problem is, here's the problem. I don't use my heroes, so they're all like pretty low rank. Yeah, we could cheat our way through this. I could just use the console to make our heroes max level. I'm never gonna send them on a mission. You know what? I'm not gonna do that right now. I'll probably put it to a vote. I'll see if you guys want to cheat, because I do like the idea of a nuke. Like, I know it's part of the modded content, but Jay, you were there. We nuked Santa, alright? You know how I feel about weapons of mass destruction. So, I'm gonna put a pin in that one. We'll come back to it. Let's see. We got the fabricating a superior PCS. That's not the worst thing in the world. We definitely need to get more PCSs for our people. We could recruit a scientist. We do actually need more scientists. The more scientists, the faster our research goes. Let's see. We could gather supplies. We could recruit an engineer, which we don't really need to do. We could get somebody some more brain wrinkles. More brain wrinkles is always good. We could gather more intel, which is a thing that we also need to do. And what we could do is just do another resistance contacts. Because we're going to need to do that to contact the last area. Or we could form a soldier bond. I mean, we have some soldiers who have not yet established a bond. So it might not be the worst thing in the world to try to get a bond. I mean, I keep saying that, but then I also, like, I want to let it happen on its own. But I don't know, chat. I don't know. I don't want to try to force them to love each other, you know? Brain power. Car Series Cowboy says, howdy y'all, good to see you, Cowboy. Thanks for joining us on a Saturday. Hopefully the weekend is treating you well. Glad you could make it back for another stream. Alright, who needs some brain wrinkles, chat? Remember that blue is the highest, green is the next down, yellow is the next down, and red is the worst. So, who are we gonna give some brain wrinkles to? My suggestion would be somebody who's already at the green level. So like Jotun would be a good opportunity for that. Elijah also would be a good pick. Nokarian, because he's got the blue brain. The only thing about Nokarian, and I've said this before, it's kind of a meme at this point, but Nokarian's skill tree sucks. So like giving him brain wrinkles probably wouldn't help the fact that his skill tree sucks. Oh no, wait, I'm an idiot. Never mind. It turns out I was the one who was the smooth red brain, because the blue is already max level. You can't make them go any higher. I don't even know why they're showing up on this list. So the green ones are the ones that we would want to improve, of which we have general quarters, and that's pretty much it. Need more brain wrinkles, yeah. Clearly I do. Carcer says, Weekend is alright making chainmail stuff at work. Well, there you go. Making chainmail, that's a hell of a thing. That's a hell of a thing. Let's see. I mean, chat, do you think there's a level higher than genius? Like, maybe it's a secret combat intelligence that you just can't get to unless you do the thing? Like, why does it give you the option to send the max level people? Toppy? Oh shit. Oh shit, chat. Purple brain. Oxford says there's more brain beyond brain. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Chat. I'm gonna put it to a vote. We haven't done a vote today. So we're gonna put it to a vote. Hold on a second. I gotta do something here. So we got Erst. We're not gonna do placeholder. We got Erst. We got Elijah. We got Nokarian. Okay, we're gonna do this for one of them. So I'm gonna put it to a poll, chat. So give me a second. Well, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Elijah. Nokarian. There we go. There it is, chat. Poll is up. If you don't see it, refresh your stream. You should see it at the top of the chat box. It's for you to decide who are we going to test out this purple brain on. Because apparently, according to Oxford, there is a level of brain wrinkle beyond the maximum natural level. So, we have to see. We have to pick who it is that we're going to give this blessing and curse to. And holy shit, chat. Chat is really in favor of giving it to Nokarian, and I am 100% on board for this. Like, Nokarian has gotten shit on by the skill tree in this game, and I am 100% on board with giving him the biggest, most wrinkly fucking brain in the entire Avenger. Nah, see, Brewster, well, yeah, we're gonna fold his brain 20 times. It's gonna be glorious Nippon brain. Motherfucker, we're gonna fold this dude's brain so much he shits anime. Just you wait. About 40 seconds left, chat. Remember, democracy only works if you engage with it. Now is the time. Get your votes in before the vote is over. The vote is available to everyone, whether you are a sub or not, whether you are following or not. You can vote in the poll, so vote now. Democracy indeed. Democracy. Managed democracy, of course. We're not some kind of Republican heathens out here. We manage our democracy. As we doing thousands of calculations at one time, but they'll all be wrong. I mean, seems like I gotta go see if I can find some anime to watch. Nah, it's all good, Nokarian, because like, what's gonna the shit? It's just gonna come out of you, right? It's like you're gonna be sick and you're gonna have the runs, except instead of like the smelliest, most foul liquid imaginable that's coming out of you, it's just gonna be like cat girls and isekai and rom-coms. Trust me, you won't even have to do anything. It's gonna be like a natural function of your body. Isn't voting adding politics to a stream? Get that guy. He is trying to sully the good name of managed democracy, chat. This will not stand. Alright, so chat has voted overwhelmingly in favor of giving no carrion the wrinkliest of brains. And again, I am 100% here for it. 100% here for it. Unfortunately, no carrion, you're gonna have to take the risk of getting injured because I'm not giving up a scientist. I'm not giving up a scientist for this. You don't need it. So if you get hurt, I apologize in advance. But them's the breaks. That's a price you gotta pay for wrinkly purple brain. I'm sorry.
We will begin the covert action immediately, Commander.
Chet, I feel like I'm living in a whole new world. I didn't even realize that purple brain was possible. It's amazing. Godspeed, no carrying. Yeah, agreed. You'll have to tell us what the fourth dimension looks like when you can see it. Alright, chat. Let's get back to the geoscape. And I swear, we're gonna finish this heat signature, goddammit. There we go. Resistance contacts +1. Outstanding. Not now. Alright, so we've got a couple of choices here. Again, we need 7 intel. I would like to make contact with West Africa so we can go after this 2-pip black site. I just don't know how quickly we'll get the intel at Reaper HQ. I mean, we can try, or we can go for the cave and try to get some alien resources. Strap me down to watch that anime stuff. Are you trying to tell me that you don't like anime, no carrion? You're missing out on the greatest modern media. Pinky and the Brain was an amazing show. I mean, it was certainly a show ahead of its time. Oh, Crappy Sniper has finished his genetic modification. With mimetic skin, confers the ability to change the skin pattern to match cover. When a soldier moves to high cover, they become concealed. Does not work if any enemies have line of sight to the soldier. Now, chat, if you're wondering why we gave this ability to Crappy Sniper has a little ability called Low Profile. Low Profile means that all cover counts as full cover. Now, I don't know if there's any synergy between that and mimetic skin, but if so, we're basically making it so Crappy Sniper becomes concealed anytime they take cover, as long as somebody can't see him. And EW gifted a sub to Authentic Intent. Thank you for the sub. Again, EW, you do not have to do that, but I appreciate it. And Authentic Intent, welcome to the cult of bad tactical decisions, where we have only one flavor of Ecto Cooler, and it is, or I'm sorry, we have only one flavor of Kool-Aid, and it is Ecto Cooler. I can words. Drink the Kool-Aid, you fucking heathens. It's the only thing that keeps you in line. But we have 10 tons of it, so we're never gonna run out. Well, I'm sure we'll run out someday, but I think you guys will be long dead by the time that happens. Probably from diabetes. However, I encourage you to drink as much as you like, because it ain't going anywhere. Anyway, chat, now that we have a bunch of space shekels, it might be time to consider more genetic modification. Because for the longest time, the genetic modification was kind of off the table because we didn't have enough space shekels. We were too busy trying to make other stuff happen. But that's less of a problem now. That's much less of a problem. Let me see. Who do we want to give genetic modification to, chat? I mean, I'm thinking maybe Tribal Typhoon or Wasteland Wanderer, just because they just got off a mission. So they're going to be tired for a while anyway, and it would be a good opportunity to kind of put them in for some aftermarket enhancements. Wait, what? What am I lying? Every week I hear I can words. I'm starting to... Listen, BLM. I don't have a comeback for that. I'm sorry. I can words. Just not right now. It's not that I can't words. It's that I can't brain. That's what it is. That's... We've already established this. I am famously stupid. In so many ways. So, don't get it twisted. It's not that I can't words, it's that I can't brain. So, anyway, let me see. If we were gonna give genetic modification to somebody, I mean, let's see. If I was gonna give Tribal something, what would I give him? Let me see. We can't do mimetic skin because we don't have the thing. We can't do synaptic booster because we don't have the thing. Adaptive bone marrow. Wound recovery time is reduced by 66%. Soldier regen... Oh, Chad. Regenerative bone marrow. Regenerate HP each turn. No. Hold on. Spider climb. Enables the soldier to climb on walls, enabling them to seamlessly travel to rooftops and the ground below. Extra mobility when using armor. Moving will make the soldier gradually lose the bonus. Gain 20 dodge. When dodging an enemy, they'll move out of the way of the attack, completely avoiding the damage. Triggers once per turn. Soldier suffers penalties to combat performance in hot and cold environments. Let's see. Combat pheromones that increase aim, crit, and mobility of nearby soldiers. This is basically a genetic combat rush. Let's see. Cleanses damaging status and regenerates health of nearby soldiers when killing an enemy. Wait, what? What? Grants... Cleanses damaging statuses and regenerates health of nearby soldiers whenever you kill an enemy? How is that busted as shit? If you gave this to everybody on a squad, you would... Yeah, healing farts! Oxford says give secondary heart DS. Now, upon taking lethal damage, this soldier will begin bleeding out. They remain unconscious, but they'll die if they're not stabilized or evacuated within a few turns. I mean, that could be good. That could definitely be good for making sure that they don't die, but I'm just saying, Big Boss didn't have 2 hearts. So yes, now shouldn't need them either. Adaptation super compensation. When taking damage, soldier gains resistance to that damage. If critically wounded, soldier's maximum health will be increased by 1. Soldier requires extra time to recover, triggers once per mission. I mean, that's okay, except it's basically like, hey, this ability only really works if you get shot, and we're trying to avoid getting shot. We got Berserker. Taking damage or panicking will cause the soldier to enter Berserker rage and attack enemies in sight. No, I don't think we will. I don't think we will. Okay, chat, hear me out. Hear me out. Here's what we do. We go with Wasteland Wanderer because he's trying to spec into physical, like, melee combat, right? And then we give him adaptive bone marrow. Because then he'll regenerate HP. I mean, really, I'd like to give him synaptic booster. But we don't have the Sectopod Rex somehow in order to do that. Or here's another thing we could do. Since Vin is a dedicated medic, we give him the healing farts. because he doesn't get that many kills, but when he does, he'll just automatically heal everybody around him. I feel like that's thematic, right? Also, I missed that we had other stuff up here. We had the tiny lens calculates information, assists with hacking and targeting robotic foes. This could be good for our hackers. We got gain a anus right words chat. Bonus aim after missing a shot. Depth perception, bonus aim and crit when the soldier has a height advantage. Again, really good for snipers. Nictating membranes, inner eyelids, cataract aim penalties from different things, cleanse blind. I mean, we don't run into blind that much. Neural feedback. I welcome the healing farts. Carstayer says, wouldn't you not want to give it to the healers since they heal people anyway? I mean, you say that, but again, I'm all about min-maxing here. I'm all about min-maxing. We could just do Tranquil Mind. So here's what I'm thinking. Oh no, wait, we can't give Yas now another one because they already have the thing. Pope. I don't know, Chad. I'll have to think about it. The genetic modification is like a whole rabbit hole, so I'd like... We would definitely have to put some thought into it. Because I mean, we could spend an hour on the genetic modification and not make a decision. So we only need one more intel. I'm sorry, what?
Central, Commander.
Oh.
Excellent. My analysis of the fragmented codex data is almost complete. The information I've uncovered so far outweighs the loss of the Shadow Chamber, as you'll see.
Is that an elder? Haven't seen one in at least a decade.
Yes, and I believe I now understand why. The Elders appear to be afflicted with an aggressive form of tissue degeneration, rapid muscular atrophy, to a degree I had not even thought possible.
So they're dying. Sounds like our job just got a whole lot easier.
As with most things involving this adversary, it's never quite that simple. The Elders have been aggressively searching for a cure to their condition for centuries. Each time they encountered a new species, they procured what genetic information and material they required and moved on to the next world. Until now. I believe they found something in us. Something important enough to cause them to take root.
A cure?
Not that I can determine. Several key files were previously deleted as part of something called the Avatar Directive.
Avatar. We need those files.
Were I to gain access to a fully functioning codex, I might be able to recover them.
Or blow the entire ship to hell this time around.
I didn't say I needed the creature here, Bradford. I am confident I could access the unit remotely, provided your soldiers can get close enough to it in the field without destroying it first.
That we can arrange, Doctor.
Actually, I don't know if we can arrange that, because I feel like we haven't seen a codex in a hot minute. So yeah, that's a thing we're gonna have to do.
I'm keeping tabs on all our operations, Commander. Our people are standing by for your orders.
No shadow projects available. Alright. So that's it for research here for now. I guess we're back on to regular research.
Proceeding as expected, Commander.
So plasma lances, 8 days away. The Skulljack, forgot about that thing. Yeah, I mean, we haven't had to use it in a while. We still have one. We just, again, we don't really do anything with it because we didn't need it. So, okay. Give me intel, Reaper HQ, please. Sooner the better. There we go.
Together, we have succeeded in our task.
Oh, look at that. Not only did no Carrion he has increased to Savant. Not only did he get the wrinkliest of brains, he also got a promotion, gent. And C-Vex rolled into the chat on a Saturday. Good to see you, C-Vex. Glad to have you. Thanks for joining us. And hopefully the weekend is treating you well so far. Alright, Chet. Let's get the covert action knocked out. Let's see. So, could recruit a scientist, recruit an engineer, gather supplies, we don't need a resistance contact anymore. We're good on that. And then, I mean, maybe fabricate PCS for now. Well, we'll send them. We'll send them in. We'll send them in, chat. Intel, negate. No. I just got this intel. You're not getting it. No, absolutely not. Go get me a PCS.
We'll get the job
nerds.
done. Don't worry, Commander.
How have things been so far? Well, we had one rough operation so far, CVEX, but we managed to turn it around, and the most recent one that we did actually was pretty good. It was much better. Forgot XCOM 2 doesn't need live capture, something of a downtrade. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think the Skulljack is like, mechanically, there's no difference between the Skulljack and live capture, right? Like, it's the same thing. It's just, instead of having to do it for every single enemy type, they just give you a couple of key enemies and say, you know, you have to do it to this enemy type. Because the thing is, like, getting the live captures didn't really give you anything else. At least not in XCOM. Now, in the OG XCOM and in Xenonauts, the live capture was a little more important because you actually got stuff out of it that helped. But, like, in the Firaxis XCOM, the live capture didn't really serve a purpose. Like, it was a fun thing, it was a fun, like, here's an extra cutscene and that kind of thing. But, like, at the end of the day, mechanically, it didn't add anything. And Highland Rain coming in saying, hello, Commander. First time chatter before immediately getting slapped in the face with a gift sub by EW. EW, thank you for the gift sub. And Highland Rain, thanks for joining us on a Saturday. Hopefully you're having a good weekend. And, of course, welcome now to the cult of bad tactical decisions. It's record time, as always. I can't stop them from doing that, so I apologize, but at the same time, hopefully you enjoy your stay. How would it torture them if we kill them first? I mean, we've done some pretty messed up stuff to these Alamaus this campaign. I'm just saying. We've done some pretty messed up stuff. Anyway, Nokarian just picked up a promotion. And I know he was out there. Yeah, there we go. I'm about to say, I feel like I just saw you in the chat. So, Nokarian, look at it. Look at this. Look at it. Look at it, chat. His big, fucking wrinkly purple brain. Now we get to spend all those extra points on his terrible skill tree.
The hard part will be convincing our troops not to kill this thing as soon as it appears. No one has ever.
Alright, so we got the tech sergeant rank. Under Salamander, we've got Valley of Death, which is a pretty bitchin' name. Take a reaction shot against any enemy that moves or attacks within a cone of fire. So it's basically kill zone, but for a flamethrower. Attack can hit multiple targets. Under Combat Medic, you got your Gremlin flies to an ally, granting them immunity to damage until the beginning of next turn. 1 charge per mission. Why do we not... Oh, because you have a flamethrower and it defaults you to a canister. We need to make sure to put a gremlin on Nokarian. I keep forgetting to do that. And then under Officer, I mean, it doesn't really matter. We haven't been doing any Officer stuff, but let's have a look. Vital point targeting. Attacks against enemies you've holo-targeted deal more damage. You have to have the holo-targeter for that, so obviously that would be off the table. So it's either Kill Zone, Valley of Death, which is kind of meh, and then Immunize, which grants someone else immunity to damage until the beginning of the turn, which is also kind of meh. So once again, as if to keep with the theme, to keep with the meme, even though Nokarian just got a rank up, his abilities are kind of ass. And I feel so bad for him as a result. And EW gifted another sub, this time to Captain Case, who says, why would one resist the A's, eh? I see what you did there. I see what you did there. I mean, you have to resist the A's. You can't let them have the planet. We have fucked this planet into a crater all by ourselves. Why are we gonna let these Alamaus run in here and take the whole thing out from under us? Nah, we worked hard to ruin this planet. We worked hard to ruin this planet. But thank you for the gifted sub, EW. And Captain K's, welcome back to the cult of bad tactical decisions. Glad to see you again. Glad to have you back in the cult. And hopefully you enjoy your stay once again. Nokarian says, 1, it can be usable at some point. I mean, maybe. Alright. I mean, I feel so bad for Nokarian. Like, I'm waiting for the moment when there's gonna be, like, this ability that we come across and it's just like, oh my god, this is the ability. This is what Nokarian's been waiting on. And it doesn't happen. It hasn't happened. Every time it's like, well, this is kind of butt cheeks. 2 is also pretty good. Again, he's not currently using a gremlin, but that's because I'm an idiot and I keep forgetting to put the gremlin on him. But yeah, he absolutely has been going down like the combat medic tree with a lot of medic abilities. We also have the regenerative mist, which again, it keeps fucking up his loadout, but he's supposed to be taking the smoke bomb so that he can regenerate people with his smoke grenades. But yeah, there you go. Now, because apparently this is the thing, and I didn't know that, but apparently there is an intelligence level above genius, and it's called savant, and we now have Nokarian as the wrinkliest of brains in the Avenger. What was the one skill on the Sergeant rank? Let's have a look. Sergeant is Fulmination, explosive chem thrower blast that causes any other explosives in the vicinity to detonate. Could be good, could also be really bad. At this point, I'm convinced fully the NFL is rigged. I mean, I would argue that the NFL is kind of rigged, but not the way you mean. Like, you mean rigged. Yeah, like the rest of your skill tree. It's kind of bad. It's kind of really bad. Let's see, we got fierce... Nope. Enemies within 4 tiles have a -10 aim against other targets. So this is basically just a skill that makes everyone shoot at you. Which, again, seems like a really terrible ability for somebody who's got a giant flammable tank of gasoline on their gun. But no, so, to Wasteland's point, like, I do believe that the NFL is rigged to a certain extent. But, like, what he means is there's, like, some shadowy cabal that says, like, oh, you know, the Patriots are gonna win this game. It's not like that. That's, again, and I tell this to anybody with, like, conspiracy theories and shit. Like, as somebody who has spent a lot of time in, like, project management, administration, like, people that think that there are these grand conspiracies where hundreds or thousands of people are all working together to keep some deep, dark secret from the rest of... Like, your optimism is absolutely fucking hilarious. Because I can't get 10 people in a room to all agree on the same fucking thing, work together, and not blab about it to somebody else before we finish the project. Like, to think that you could get hundreds or thousands of people to all do some nefarious thing, all agree on it, and nobody say anything to anyone ever? Like, nah. That optimism is hilarious. So trust me when I say the NFL may be rigged, but not like that. The NFL is rigged in the sense that a lot of the systems and a lot of the rules in the league kind of perpetuate that, like, the teams that win continue to win, and that the teams that win have more advantages that allow them to get better players, to trade from better bargaining positions and things like that. So, like, it's like, yes, the NFL is rigged, but it's rigged in the same way that a lot of other things are rigged, in that, like, the system is just engineered to benefit the people who are already benefiting from it. So it is rigged, just like, again, there's not some cabal picking names out of a hat to decide who wins games. It's just, again, winners tend to win because they tend to have the advantages that they need to win, whereas people who don't win are at an inherent disadvantage and thus find it harder to win in general. It's just how things work in general. But anyway, first time chatter, Lord West says, please show soldiers. I mean, we have quite a few. I don't know which ones specifically you want to see, but if you're interested in all of the soldiers that we have going here, I would recommend going back and watching some of the older streams on our YouTube archive, where you can follow this entire series from the beginning. We're, I don't know, 80 hours into this campaign at this point, so, I mean, I could go through and show you every single individual soldier in the entire roster and explain to you exactly what they do and what their name is and what they're good at and how we built their character, but I don't think anybody wants to sit here for 2 hours while I do that. Well, I mean, you might want that, and I appreciate it if you think that's the case. But I imagine most of the other folks in chat would not appreciate me just going on that tangent for a couple of hours. Anyway, chat, let's see. Let's get back to the Geoscape. We're coming up on the 6-hour mark here, so I'm probably going to be bringing the stream to a close pretty soon, but I'm not going to end it just yet, because as always, I want to try to get us to a good stopping point, usually when another op will pop up so that we can start the stream with a bang next time around. So now that we got our intel, we can go and make contact in West Africa, which is what we were trying to do. So that's another region and more space shekels. Got a new soldier class. A wrecker now, yeah. Hi, I thought you were here for that, Wasteland. Like, that was the whole thing, is we were excited because it was a brand new class that we hadn't seen yet. But there we go. So now we made contact in West Africa. So we got one more region left on the map to contact. And we're gonna need 60 intel to do it. And then we'll have made contact with every region on the map. I don't know if we'll get the 60 intel before we beat the game, but we could sure try. We can definitely try. Was one? Yeah, no, Arrakis. We were talking about that earlier in the stream. Like, I think it's a missed opportunity to not, number one, render in real time so you can see the Sky Ranger, but also render it in real time so you can just pick a random soldier. Like, that would have been great. But let's head over. We'll do some alien alloys and Lyrium crystals. Pick some of those up while we wait for whatever the next thing that's going to happen. If an op doesn't pop here pretty soon, then probably what I'll do is put us onto one of these black sites and we'll start the stream with that. Alright. What do we got coming up? What do we got? We got plasma lands in 6 days. We got training coming up. We got supply in 15 days. Man, has it already been half a month? Good lord. Alright, there's the HP conditioning for Buffalo. They got 3 HP and 11 ability points. So that means we need to grab somebody else to put in for physical conditioning. And you know what? Because he just got his big old purple wrinkly brain, I think Nokarian is going to get the physical conditioning today. So Nokarian, I know you're still out there, so check back in, tab back in, have a look at your stats. And we're going to get you some training as well to go with it so that the next time you go out into combat, you'll have every possible advantage to overcome the terrible skill tree that Amalgamation has cursed you with. Honestly, want my character going and introducing our asses to other cells? I mean, you guys are the face of XCOM. I don't want... look, I'm not in a false advertisement. I'm not gonna be like, oh, we're the good guys. Like, nah, we're a bunch of freaking psychos out here that are just doing this because we like to blow up aliens. And we just happen to be saving the planet at the same time. Like, it's just a happy coincidence. Where are you at, No Carrion? I know you're out there. Aim, since you mean, I mean, you're not wrong. Since we have so many problems with our flamethrowers not hitting the target, maybe aim is a good pick. But again, it's your call. It's whatever you want to do. If you want to go with aim, we'll go with aim. You might even get a decent aim ability out of the deal. But there's no guarantee. That's all RNG. Send the Dami Mommy. We already did. Dami Mommy's already gotten her physical conditioning and genetic upgrades. Dami Mommy got all the toys. I mean, you're not wrong, Wasteland, but you've seen it happen. Well, I made no carrion. I would give you both if I could, but I can't, so you gotta pick one. So you can either go with aim or you can go with mobility. They're both good picks. I mean, there are no wrong answers. Although it would be funny to do dodge since you don't actually have any dodge. Like, it's dashes because it's 0. I'm not saying don't do that. Don't do that. It would be pointless to go for dodge this late in the game. But I'm just saying that would be pretty funny. Give me aim. Alright. Aim conditioning it is. Which I think is actually the first time that somebody has gone through aim conditioning this campaign. Alright, we're back to the Geoscape. We're going to continue. Plasma Lance is coming up. Advent Retaliation, chat. Okay, well I think that is going to be our op for the next stream. There are no wrong answers, only wrong people. I mean, spoken like a true lunatic, T-Gap. Let's have a look at the retaliation site.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, chat. The fucking operation name. The fucking op name, chat. I don't care about the codex. Look at the op name. Yeah? I'm telling you. Tell me that, look. I put a lot of mods into this mod pack, okay? I have put a lot of mods into this mod pack, but by far, the most improvement of the experience has been the op name mod, because my god. No, read again, Brewster. It doesn't say gold. Nightly Painting says, hi buddy, I've been looking for a few hours now, but it's past bedtime. Thank you in chat for keeping me company as I painted. I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna assume you were painting some minis. But thanks for dropping by, Nightly Painting. I appreciate you spending some of your limited time on this earth with me and the community. Hopefully you did have a good time, and I hope you have an outstanding rest of your weekend. I'm just saying, big ol' sack of God. Like, there are layers, chat. Layers to this shit. There are at least 3 different ways to interpret that op name, and every single one of them is great. God himself about to teabag these A's, you goddamn right. And for those that did point out, because I didn't miss it, yes, there is going to be 1 codex on this mission. So this could be our potential inroad to continue the story, chat. So next time around, be sure to remind me, because I will probably forget, But be sure to remind me on the next stream that we definitely need to take the Skulljack on this mission so that we can try to Skulljack the Codex. We have indeed peaked. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna get better than that. I don't think it's gonna get any better than that, chat. That's it. That is it. That's the best op name, period. The best op name. So, we'll head back to the Avenger chat. We'll drop a manual save as you do. And obviously, this is what we had to name the save. Obviously. There was no other thing that we could name it. And we will go back to the office, Chad. Let's head back to the office. Oh my. Man, that's a hell of a note to go out on, Chad. I was like, man, let's see what this op is gonna be, and it's a retaliation mission. I'm like, well, that's not always good. And then big ol' sack of God, and I was like, yep, that's the note we're going out on. That's the note that we're going out on. There we go. XCOM finally wants to quit for me. But yeah, chat, look at that. We got 2 ops in today, and we are teed up for another one. Man, we got a lot done today. I mean, we usually do. We usually do get a lot done, but man, we got a bunch done here. And don't think that I missed Crappy Sniper, you gifting that sub a couple minutes ago. I did, in fact, see it. I forgot up until now, but there it is. So thank you, Crappy Sniper, for gifting a sub to Commander Fest? Or Commander the ST? Or maybe Commander the Street? Man, there's so many ways. So many ways that I could read that. But thank you, Crappy, for gifting a sub to Commander. I do appreciate it. And Commander, welcome to the cult of bad tactical decisions. Even though you got here right at the end, or at least you got gifted a sub right at the end of the stream. Hopefully you did enjoy your time, and I do hope that you will join us again here in the cult of bad tactical decisions. But man, we got so much done today. I mean, we got big ol' sack of God, just like goddamn, and then we got fucking no carrion with the big old purple wrinkly brain, and yet somehow still got the shittiest skill picks of all time. Like, the meme continues. The meme continues. No carrion somehow pulling the worst possible skills in Amalgamation, because XCOM 2 just hates his ass. Just like wants him to fail, and he's like, no, I'm gonna take my flamethrower and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna kick some Alamau ass. And you know what? That's the kind of attitude that more people in XCOM need. You know, you see folks like Erst in his big old chonky robot body, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna shoot the A's and I'm gonna blow him up and all this. He's like, yeah, it's easy to say, I'm gonna go charge into the enemy, I'm gonna be the wall, I'm gonna, all this. It's easy to have that kind of bravado when the game is like, oh, here, be a mech trooper. Oh, here, fucking shoot 3 times in a turn. Oh, here, get a thing that basically makes you full cover for other people. And then No Carrion's just out here like, I got this flamethrower. And I miss with it half the time, because flamethrowers are apparently the most inaccurate weapon on the fucking planet. Don't ask me how that works. I'm just saying. No Carrion knows what it's like to live that struggle life. He doesn't just live on the struggle bus. He's got permanent residence there. Like, he pays taxes on the struggle bus. That's how long he's been living up in that bitch. But you know what? He's still succeeding. He's still putting in that work. And that's what matters. That's what matters. Again, we could use more people with that kind of initiative in XCOM. Because Lord knows we got some folks that are more than happy to rest on their laurels. I mean, fucking yes now, greatest soldier that ever lived, just like, oh no, there's 30 lost here, just watch me kill all of them in a single turn, which I want you to imagine this in your mind for just a second, what that probably looks like. Like, that's some anime shit, okay? You gotta understand that each turn is supposed to represent like a certain amount of time that has passed, whether that be like 3 seconds or whatever. So you need to imagine in your head that Yas now not only sees and identifies over a dozen targets, but then somehow manages to shoot every single one of them perfectly in the head in the span of like 3 seconds. So I'm just saying, like, when you compare that to Nokarian, the fact that Nokarian is still alive and kicking ass, like, you salute that man. I don't give a damn what your rank is. When you see Nokarian, when you see that Oni mask walking down the hallway on the Avenger, motherfucker, you make a hole and you salute that man. Because he's the hardest working son of a bitch. The hardest working son of a bitch on the Avenger. Anyway, chat, rant over. Sorry, I got a little heated there. But yeah, we got Nokarian, his big old purple wrinkly brain. He still got screwed on the skills, but you know what? He's still the smartest dude on the Avenger. That's got to count for something. Sadly, we did have to put another name on the memorial wall today, and as I said, it was almost entirely my fault. I made a series of bad decisions, and unfortunately, by the time it became apparent the danger that Track Tension was in, it was too late to save him. So sadly, we had to add Track Tension to the wall, but you know what? He did his best. He gave his life for XCOM. He gave his life to defeat the Amalgamation menace. And I mean, that's all I think we can ask anybody to do, you know, is to go out there, fight as hard as you can, and, you know, give as good as you get. Give as good as you get. But we came back, we bounced back. We had an outstanding operation against the laws. We found out that Grendler apparently likes to just, like, you know, that annoying ass camper that can one-time you from anywhere on the map in every Battlefield match. We found out Grendler is basically that. Except unlike every time that you have to deal with that camper, Grendler is actually on our team, so we don't have to deal with that, which is good, because that could be potentially very annoying. So, thankfully, we found out that the camper on the team is on our team. And again, we got that retaliation teed up. We are ready to go. Took out a black site. It's good, chat. It's good. We're finishing up the research. We're coming to the close of the campaign. It's gonna be over soon. I don't know when, but we are within sight of the end. We've just got a few big researches to do, a couple of tentpole story missions, and then we'll have finally kicked the Alamau menace off of Earth for good. Got its hit and everything. Yeah. People like me who can just say fuck you in your cover. Yeah, that too. I'm just saying, chat. We're making some progress. So it's good to get out there and get some work done. We've got one more region left to contact. We're making a bunch of space shekels for the first time in the entire campaign. We got more resources than we need. And it's looking good. So I like the shape of things to come, chat. But we're gonna have to be careful, because as we saw today, just because we're in the end game, just because we got all the fancy equipment, just because we got all the good stuff, that doesn't mean that we're not in danger. That doesn't mean that, you know, every time we go out in the Sky Ranger that these folks aren't putting their life on the line. So remember that. Again, we've talked about this before because Ian Dungeon has said it over and over again.
Overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
So we still gotta be careful. So I want to thank you guys for coming to hang out with me on a Saturday. The world is a roller coaster of challenges, and we don't all have a lot of time on this planet. So I appreciate you choosing to come out here and hang out with me and hang out with this community. Again, there's a million different places you could have been, a million different things that you could have been doing, but you chose to spend some of that limited time here with us, and I do appreciate it. Every single one of those minutes is precious, and I value them, so I appreciate you hanging out here and making this community what it is, because without you guys, there is no channel, there is no community, there is no me. So again, whether you spent 5 minutes or 5 hours here, whether this is your first stream, or So many, you can't even count them anymore. Again, I appreciate that time. Thank you for choosing to spend it with me. And here at the end, I want to remind you, like I always do, that your life has value and that the world is a better place with you in it. Never let anyone tell you otherwise. And I'll see you next time.